I want to discuss with you a point of view, an approach, a methodology, how enterprises can be creative, how they can be more innovative. And the reason for that is the today's organizations are struggling with a lot of competition. They need to devise newer ways of engaging with their customers, providing newer ways of delivering their products and services to the customers. And this requires a revisiting of the existing leadership concepts. The existing leadership concepts have paid off, they have a certain value, but it goes only to a certain extent. I'm not saying that these traditional or existing leadership concepts are useless. They are pretty much useful, but they serve its usefulness up to a certain point. Beyond that, we need some other leadership style which transcends the existing leadership concepts. And this session is about discussing those. Let me discuss with you what I'm trying to say. What are those concepts and what is the point of view I'm carrying? Organizations to achieve results, the way they structure, there are various levels of consciousness. If I say, let's say there are 4 levels of consciousness of the organization. The first level is the consciousness of the organization, which appears or which get triggered in its employees through various training programs. And that's how organization spreads its consciousness to its employees. And various training programs are manifestations of it. And this serves the purpose of aligning the individuals, employees, professionals in various roles to the organization direction. But the outcome is not much at this level. The next higher level, which controls this consciousness, is the organization thoughts, which get manifested in terms of the various principles the organization follows. So principles could be in the form of example of principles could be, let's say, customer centricity. This is a principle used by many organizations, and such similar principles to become one of the other example could be most trusted brand in the country. This is another example. So there can be few examples through which organization manifests its thoughts. Those are organizational thoughts. They control the consciousness or strengthen the consciousness level of the employees. So this is a strengthening of the consciousness. The more organization spreads its thoughts, its principles, and these principles are derived based on the successes organization has got in the past. Then the next higher level is the habits of the organizations, which gets manifested in the business as usual activities. Those business as usual day-to-day activities are the real governing habits, and they influence the ground level thoughts. There may be very good plausible principles, but they may be only in intranet website or in some talks of the leadership. But the ground level thoughts are the one which are getting manifested via the habits, the BAU habits. It may say that organization is customer centric, but habit may be to increase more and more sales. You suggest whatever best you have in terms of your products and services. If due to some reason, if the customer requires some other product or services, the habit may not be to encourage the employees up towards that. So that is the business as usual. Then other higher level concept which governs even the habits is the organizational ego, which ultimately drives this even business as usual. Organizational ego is manifested in terms of its achievements in the industry, the turnover it is carrying, the respect it is carrying, respect by the customers and the industries. It forms a certain level of image, brand. That brand is that ego, and that controls the habit. So that's how each upper layer is controlling the below layer. And when individuals come to this level, so the individual ego gets aligned with this ego. The leaders, traditional leaders, are the one who have big fat ego, and they claim to represent the brand of the organization. And they trigger it, that ego. The instrument of the ego is fear. So our brand should not be impacted by doing this and this activity. We will not do this activity. It has a potential to spoil our brand. That's a fear. And fear is the most powerful or most effective way of executing the thing. This is the most successful instrument known in the organization up till now. Fear is the one who even dominates the habits, can form the habit, and even can override the good organization thoughts as well. That is why a very fearful boss can even override the customer centricity principle of the organization, and can guide or mandate or trigger the consciousness in a direction which fulfills the person's ego. When persons or the leader, the so-called leader operating at this level with the fear instrument, when they bond with the other employees, fellow employees, if the bonding is at good thought level, you will find that that bonding may not be great. Once, even if one is agreeing to the great thoughts or principles like customer centricity, that get bogged down when the employee encounter the fear. Best of the principles, best of the habits succumb to the fear. And this kind of an environment or organization, the structure which is getting exhibited through the, so it is, our habits get manufactured to the structure of the organization. This kind of organization yields good result up to a certain point, and then beyond that, even if you continue to put efforts, the results do not come. And if inflection point does come, I'm calling that as threshold of surrendering, where the individuals has to escape from the fears, from the ego. One has to escape from the organization structure to form new ego. One has to escape from organization ego to make use of the intellect of the individual. So up till this inflection point, it is the organization which is operating. Beyond this, if results do not come, then a point comes where organization and its an individual need to surrender that their brand, the organization structure, habits, principles, consciousness are not yielding any additional outcome. And when they encounter its uselessness and futility, then the role of individual comes in. And that's where the role of individual intellect comes into picture. Intellect is the ability to apply or ability to understand the situation, what is happening, what is the customer real need. And when you apply intellect, you are even escaping the good thoughts like customer centricity. You just focus on understanding the thing. You are not even thinking what customer is dictating. You understand, and then out of that understanding, you suggest what is best for the customer. On the face of it, customer may not like it. It requires a lot of presence. It requires a lot of courage to escape from the ego, shackles of the ego, from the organizational structure, ability to transcend the good thoughts. The consciousness which gets manufactured through the training, various skills upliftment programs. One has to even transcend all those things, all those structures. Please do not think that I'm trying to say that this kind of a structure or leadership is not needed. It is needed. Unless you have this, the organization will not be able to survive. If the organization doesn't, leaders do not use the instrument of fear, there will be a lot of chaos. To apply wisdom, first, a baseline organization has to exist, has to survive. And in that survival, then you flourish the environment where individual can flourish and they apply their presence. They are not guided by the past. They are not guided by the targets, which is yet to come in future. So no future, no past, just they are focusing on the real understanding. If customer is looking for cost reduction, go deep dive and understand what will help the customer to reduce the cost. What is the source of that driver? If customer is looking for some modernization, go deep dive into it. What is it? What is the source of that? Once you start understanding that source, that real driver, that real motive, then real solutions appear automatically. That's not a function of the effort. Then the creativity plays its role. You as an individual to apply intellect has to understand you have to be joyful. And leadership role is to create that environment of joyfulness. One can excel only when is joyful. Can somebody be delivering excellence without being joyful? It's just not possible. And when one is joyful, when one is not found disintegrated in conflicting role. The conflicting role is you may be a tech advisor to the customer. You may be a salesperson also, and you may be a family person as well. Now, beyond this inflection point or below this inflection point, I would say The energy for tech advisor role, the sales role, and the family role comes, and one is riding over that energy which is provided by the tech advisor role. And it is your motivational energy. And beyond a point, you will find that you are feeling frustrated because the other roles, like let's say, for example, if you are giving too much energy to your tech advisor role, the sales role may start saying that you are not achieving your targets. Do something to achieve your target. You might find some conflict. And then leadership gives you some training programs on balancing. Balancing, even to the extent when sales role consumes too much of energy, then family roles start cribbing. So you need to find a balance among various roles: family roles, sales role, tech roles, customer facing roles, and you are like a pendulum. Intellect is drawing energy from your integrated whole. You acknowledge that you are an individual. You are not just your roles. You acknowledge the problem limitations of each and every role. You start applying the courage, your authentic whole. And during that authenticity only, you give justice to your customers, to your family, to your various roles. And that is about being present. And this is in contrast with the purpose-oriented leadership, which is the traditional concept of the leadership, outcome-oriented leadership. What I'm advocating, a presence-oriented leadership where individual is joyful, one is not worried or tied from the targets, one is going beyond it. So escaping from organization structure to this requires an intellect. Escaping from organization thoughts requires an intellect. Escaping from or transcending from organizational consciousness requires an intellect. Requires, which is nothing but being present, without understanding, without bringing in the fears that you will not be able to meet your sales target. And because of that, you recommend something. That is not presence. Then you are guided by the habits, business as usual targets. The organizational structure targets. The structure is giving you targets and you are governed by that. You are slave of that. Thank you very much.